Hey, my wonderful, divine, feminine Sagittarius placements. Christina here, Ginger Mama, coming at you with your month of November extended Tarotscope. I apologize, it's getting out a little bit late, but you know what? Better late than never, and we still have a lot of time left in the month of November. Happy birthday to those of you that hold birthdays at the end of November. But yeah, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, if this is for you. Understand too that divine feminine placement is more anxiously attached. They struggle to like, ooh, like I need to know, I need to know, I need to know, right? And masculine energy within all of us, we all hold both, by the way. Masculine energy is more avoidant, they run, they ghost from connections. So if you identify as someone who's more anxiously attached, more in your emotions, things like that, you are the divine feminine for all intents and purposes, okay? And I encourage you to watch both the feminine and masculine read and see if they resonate with you, because we do hold both, everyone, okay? The goal is to balance out this yin yang balance, okay? So anyways, we're going to dive into it. We're going to dive in first to what I was channeling for you, which was very simple, so to speak. Tonight's the 7th. We do have the full moon coming in. And the eclipse happening tomorrow in the sign of Taurus. But it was someone looking at the moon, someone outside, kind of just sitting there, like connecting. And not just like a full moon, a crescent moon, like all month, you looking at the moon. Even someone like in their pajamas or something, maybe waking up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep and you're like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Go outside, everyone, okay? Look to the moon, look to the stars, see if there's any type of clarity there. This has happened for me before and it's astonishing. Like, I'll see a shooting star or something like that. Four of Wands here is fascinating. Many of you I know, divine feminines, who are on a twin flame journey, or you're dealing with a marriage or a partnership that you're trying to call in, or you feel like you already have. And so we'll dive into the cards in a second, but I do want to start with saying Four of Wands is about commitment as well. So be committed to your spiritual journey right now by connecting in with that like moon energy. And as we're in Scorpio season, that's what this is all about, diving deep into the subconscious and really asking ourselves, what do we want? What do we really need? The month of November started out with Venus and Scorpio opposite Uranus and Taurus on the 5th, okay? So you might have noticed this feeling of like you want to dive headfirst into connections and relationships, and you're craving really meaningful connections. You're really thinking about what commitment looks like to you. You're like, what do I really want? And get very clear with the universe, okay? Get very clear. Like, you don't have to settle for like, micro cheating or like shady half communication. No, get very clear. And then look at that list and be like, okay, do I embody that? Am I someone that clearly communicates? Am I someone that asks for communication? Am I someone that doesn't cheat or lie? Do you know what I'm saying? Am I someone stable in my finances? Am I someone who's spiritual? Like, if you're trying to call that in, ask yourself, do you embody those qualities as well? And so we have Uranus, which is still retrograde in Taurus. It's been since August 23rd and will be through January 22nd. So a lot of this energy is, how do we relate to money, okay? And what does money mean for us? Money is energy, just like time, attention, sex, emotions, all of it is energy, right? So asking ourselves, how do we handle money? As I say this, how do we protect financial assets? How do we manifest and create more money? And how do we stay in a flow state that will best serve that? Look at this 10 of Pentacles. Any of you considering a new financial endeavor right now, this is the time. Like, do not doubt yourself. Like, jump into this, okay? Like, think it through for a minute, but like allow that fiery, passion within you to like speak for itself. And understand sometimes these endeavors will start small, but many of you, especially if you've already been on those endeavors, it's about to blow up for you. So keep going, okay? I also want you to think about money and partnerships. Again, marriage, commitment, divine union with someone. It's like, how do we handle money and those connections? And furthermore, is there a way to work with someone and be in a romantic partnership? Some people will say absolutely not, but a lot of people who are highly spiritual would argue that that would be the ideal connection. And so asking yourself what it is you want, because you get to create your reality in your life, and asking yourself what blocks might be there from previous connections, kind of energy. So, can we love and work together is kind of the question earlier in the month. And then tonight, as I said, it's the 7th. So, in just a few hours, we're hitting this Mercury moving into Scorpio, which is communication that, again, requires depth. It requires deep, meaningful conversation. And if someone can't give that to you, they're out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if they're not willing to go and dive in to that truth and honesty and like subconscious, if they're still lying to themselves or to you, you don't need to tolerate that, okay? Don't. Block communication right now. Release with this full moon lunar eclipse, okay? And this is in the sign of Taurus, which is very fixed. It's also more conservative energy, which I find fascinating because in the US, the election is tomorrow as well. And so it's fascinating. We also have Uranus going on with Mercury. We have a Cazimi happening. It is a lot of energy. And so that can be about revolutionary change when we see Uranus there. And that Aquarian energy as well, of like what's going to happen. This is kind of, it could be chaos, it could be revolutionary change. What big ideas do you have? How could you incorporate those into your financial future? And so pay attention to what's occurring there. Release any fears about that or blocks that you might hold. Like, oh, this is a dumb idea or this or that. Don't do that. Don't go down that rabbit hole, okay? Really release fears with source. Like, no, I know I'm being divinely guided here. I'm going to own it and harness it. I am worthy of it. And furthermore, I want to point out this eclipse we have going on right now is part of a 3-part series. We had one occur, this lunar eclipse specifically. We did have an eclipse a couple of weeks ago, but this is separate from that with the other astrology going on. We had one on November 19th, 2020. And then now we have one on November 8th, 2022. So we skipped a year. So ask yourself, where were you in November 2020? That was shortly after all the COVID stuff, many people still coming out of lockdowns. What was going on for you then, right? What big transition occurred? And what is now happening, right? And the last one will occur on October 28th, 2023. So this is making you stronger, more stable. It's literally rebirthing you as we're in Scorpio season, okay? And King of Pentacles reversed. Like, you don't have time for stubborn masculine energy. You don't have time to sit there and nurture them and baby them and be like, oh, but I think they're going to change and they had this trauma. You've had your own shit, right? And you're leveling up. I mean, really ask yourself this. Get very clear with yourself. Like, why do I feel the need to save others? We do not save others. They have to save themselves through walking through this journey with Source, just as you are doing, okay? So keep that in mind and be mindful of any type of, I want to save them. The White Knight energy should be saved for the collective, okay? That Knight of Swords energy, not for an individual person, okay? But understand this energy on the 8th, we're going to talk about it a little bit longer, is like an earthquake. It's like, which way are you going to go? Are you going to leave it or are you going to keep it? It's also asking, what do you value and who values you? So family, friends, lovers, coworkers, if you're like, wow, I haven't been giving them enough attention. I haven't been telling them how much I appreciate them or responding to text messages. Now is the time to kick that into action, okay? If you're failing to show gratitude right now, you're going to really have a hard time. So show gratitude in this energy and you're going to be feeling much better. Source is trying to show you who actually supports you and who, needs to just go. Who's not speaking truth to you, right? Some people in your life right now, you're being called to let go of and just forgive and forget. And I know that's hard to do, but you need to do it because the Fool here, you're going to feel so much lighter. You're going to feel so much better. You're off on your next adventure. And sometimes people are not meant to come with us. And that's okay. All right. So let it be. Excuse me. But yeah, okay, so then we hit on the 22nd Sagittarius season, all right, which is your season, Sagittarius. Fire energy, you should be feeling better in this energy. We have the new moon on the 23rd, a great time to manifest, to really call in what you want. Those big ideas you felt around the 8th, call that in now. Be like, okay, I'm going to get clear. I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to write down what I want to create, okay? Possibilities are endless. I know, Page of Pentacles, it might start small. The finances, whatever it is, but you need to tap in with that. On the 29th, which is, I think, more this Page of Pentacles energy, We also have Mercury in Sagittarius, okay, which is your sign, so you might be called to communicate or receiving communication. But it's opposite Mars in Gemini. And Mars can be about aggression, it can also be sexual energy. Gemini can be very Jekyll and Hyde when it's wounded, but when it's healed, it can be very higher realms and lower realms, anchoring in the higher chakras and the lower chakras, right? Which is very beautiful, and that's what we want to see. And so tap in with any communication you're receiving and ask yourself, okay, especially if it's page energy, is this breadcrumbing energy? Is this basic shit? Or is this really genuine? Queen of Swords reversed. Again, this feeling of like, do you let your guard down a little bit to accept this kind of communication and respond? Or do you just pick up the sword and say, you're going to have to really decide there, okay? Towards the end of the month, I feel like many of you are going to get that. It's also a sextile with Saturn in Aquarius. And so this is about progress. This is also about collective awareness. Like, can you see the collective energy? Can you see the collective awakening? Can you see where you are important within the puzzle and where others are too? Knight of Wands reversed. I just feel like many of you right now, you know, I know you're thinking about love. I know you are, but like, especially when it comes to your sexual energy, I would pull back. Yeah. Two of Cups reversed. Many of you are thinking you have a person and it's not the person that you think it is, okay? Like, it's not really that soulmate connection. Or maybe someone who's a past karmic is about to reach back out in some way. Pay attention to that, okay? You're looking for this divine union, right? Genuine commitment. Ask yourself, in the past, when I've let my guard down and hooked up with people, how has it turned out, right? Because when we get carried away in that energy, there can be issues there. This is all about communication. Again, like I just said, communication's coming at the end of the month and coming in quickly. And so really ask yourself, is this communication valid or not? All right, anything else? Yeah, and I know many of you might be feeling sadness too. And by the way, if you're not fully releasing earlier in the month, the new moon energy on the 23rd normally hits harder. And sometimes when we have our own sign sun placements, for me, Aries season was a real doozy, okay? I'm a Gemini rising. Gemini season was hard for me. So really pay attention to this energy for you. Last year, Scorpio season, my moon in Scorpio was really hard. This year in Scorpio season, I'm feeling really good. So ask yourself, which season of your sun, moon, and rising were you feeling really run down, anxious, sad, depressed? And then just tell yourself, okay, my sun, moon, and rising, I'm going to have to walk through this journey, okay? And it's going to get better on the other side, all right? If anyone wants more clarity on this, I do have personal readings I offer at gingermama.com with the 3 A's. But let's go ahead and pull, wait a second, I feel like there's a couple other cards from here. Anything else, Source? Yeah, I feel like especially this month, you guys, the Hierophant reversed with the King of Wands upright, the Page of Cups, and the Four of Swords. Like, dip into stillness with yourself, okay? I want you to focus on what balanced sexual energy looks like for you. What would it be like to receive balanced sexual masculine energy? What would it be like to give or to embody that? Because we all hold both. Because many of you, I don't think, have had sex in that way with like emotional intimacy or real commitment, right? Or at a spiritual level. And so many of you are trying to call in these divine unions without first pulling back and going inward to experience what that would actually feel like and be before you get to that level in 3D. Does that make sense? Like, really go there with yourself, okay? Like, and if you're experiencing any darker energy as you're self-pleasing, like, I'm telling you, you have to clear that. Every time we have sex with someone, we get energetically tied. And again, this Four of Wands comes out. And by the way, if you're social media stalking someone, just stop. Just stop. If you're obsessing over twin flame readings and all this, just stop. Okay? Take this reading, go inward, do the work. Release, release, release. If you need to, write, journal, meditate, pray. Focus on your spiritual work right now. But I feel like for many of you, this is a feeling of some like sexual exploration and better understanding what your sexual needs and desires are and honoring that and saying, this is what I want and that's okay. There's no shame here. Do you know what I'm saying? Whatever comes up for you. But do this on your own. You're not doing this with another person. If someone's telling you, you need to do this with me to be able to better understand, like, no. They're trying to take advantage of you, okay? This is something you can do totally on your own, but you need to get clear about what kind of energy you really want to call in, because sometimes people, without realizing it, are calling in like darker sexual energies. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, okay. A personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. All right. So we have this full moon energy. It's not in Cancer, but either way, a personal issue is going to hopefully reach resolution this month. Show the world the real you. Again, being authentic with yourself first, and then also with the world. You know, maybe try out a different outfit this month or something like that. Just see what you're vibing with, see what comes in. Again, that intuition, that moon energy, like tapping in with like, I'm going to go inward. I'm going to rebirth myself. And what does that look like? Okay. So I love all of you. Thank you so much for watching. I am on TikTok as Ginger Mama with the 3 A's. My one account is locked right now, so I have a new account, KGUTKNEC. You can find me there. In the meantime, the name will be changed soon. I'm also on Instagram as Ginger Mama with the 3 A's. And of course, you can find me at my website for personal readings, gingermama.com. I will see you next month. Goodbye, Sagittarius.